This is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 9, beginning at verse 1, and it reads, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Verse 3, Therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. Verse 4, Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Verse 5, For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. I want to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to God, Elohim, La Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, double honors to my apostles and my elders, the heads of the great millstone. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives, as well as their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwat and the Yakim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, which appear like the other nations in appearance, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. This is the brother Yahweh Sop out of the GMS Cleveland Church, who is a fellow serving Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai in truth and sincerity. And I'm coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And I was seeking a lesson to do, or Salakia, seeking an article to do a lesson on. And, you know, there's a lot going on, and when there's always a lot going on, there is barely any headlines. I noticed that certain times. So you either got to pray for a lesson, or sometimes I go through whatever's on my spirit. Sometimes the Lord will give me inspiration to do a lesson on my spirit. I had a whole bunch of different videos, topics I was supposed to do, but I mean, my days be such a blur, but I'm sure all brothers is, because this the year of Yahweh Shem Yahushua turning up. So it's not only turning up on the wicked, but those that seeking, a reward, that's trying to do the will and the work of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Slakia for being long-winded, but with all that saying, because I was just listening to the brother Murph from Chicago. He did a beautiful lesson. He went into the movie The Devil's Advocate. Of course, a lot of brothers just sing that movie, but he looked at it with a spiritual eye, which we all, the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushua blessed us with spiritual eyes, and you might have seen things in the world, but then when you re-examine those things with spiritual eyes, with that spiritual eye salve, you see it in a totally different light. Saying all that to say this, I was listening to the Elder Malcolm, and he was going in, and he's just such a wonderful teacher. Like all the elders and elder apostles, you can always learn something. He goes into, because what you see on the surface, he breaks it down and goes in more depth. And, like I knew about the issue with India, but it's bigger things going on. It's geopolitical. So saying all that to say this, he made a statement about, because I found the article to actually do a video on, called La Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because they're pushing this basic income, well, universal basic income. And he was going into basically this grain shortage thing is deeper because it's these mountains are actually behind certain things like Putin and Ukraine. Like they basically did certain tactical moves, and he made the statement that basically Putin is a military genius. He's proven he's a military genius. But when you go into Putin's history, like I know people wanted to fight me over it because I was just talking to a 2/3 Jake in this job, and he taking up for America. Only America. But I was trying to explain to him, like, Putin was like a spy master. He, like, when you read about James Bond and watch it on TV, Putin really doing that shit. Like, if you understand how he actually got into power, like he did a supplant, you know what I mean? Like he supplanted, you know what I'm saying? So my point is, like, Putin make Donald Trump look like how they said off of Coming to America, the welfare case, you know what I mean? Like real talk, you know how many mansions and shit this man owns? But not to digress. At the end of the day, what he basically he did something strategic that's affecting the food, and because it's going to be the World War III. When you know not only is our country going to war with its own people, it's at the end of the day, scriptures are speaking, because, like I said, that World War III, and then these nations basically hating the horde. We're seeing this all take place, but it's gonna get so catastrophic and so deadly and so just so. I mean, Ezekiel 7, verse 5, evil and only evil coming, because it's gonna get hard out here. It's gonna be bad times. So the Lord is really about to test all of us. May Yahweh Bashem Yahushua keep his elect, and may I be of that number, and all the sincere Akim that I strive with on a day to day. As well as those great brothers. I mean, at the end of the day, somebody got to be the 2/3, and somebody got to be the elect. And hopefully, I met a lot of beautiful, decent, strong, powerful brothers in this truth. Uplifting brothers, strong brothers, and made those brothers. Because this thing is not easy. But I'm all over the place, Salakia, because it's just so deep. Because when you see what they doing, literally, like, this could possibly be the year, if not this year. We're not gonna be in the wilderness or suffering for years on end. Like, literally, these people have set it up where it's about to be a serious lack of food out here. So, with that being said, that's prophecy, and that's what I started with, that Second Ezra chapter 9, beginning of verse 1. So I'm gonna bring out a little bit of this article, and it reads: Universal Basic Income (IMF), which is the International Monetary Fund, calls for governments to subsidize food and energy. Inflationary and stagflationary crisis events opens up a lot of doors and create a lot of convenient opportunities for globalists obsessed with the ideology of total centralization. And they just like, but this is the guy, because whoever this person is, they are aware to what's going on to a degree. So, when you go to Zero Heads, they actually put out articles that's dealing with what we're dealing with, as opposed to the mainstream media that the elites control and feed these people, these sheeple or whatever, that keeps them lulled to sleep. Sites like Natural News and Zero Heads go into what's actually taking place. So it reads, Slovakia. So basically, going back into the article, it says the key aspect of the share economy agenda put forward by the WEF is the concept of UBI, which is Universal Basic Income. If the government becomes a primary pillar of the economy and the primary source of necessity for a large portion of the population, then this makes public defiance of government mandates much less likely. And it makes a lot of sense. When you rely on the government to supply your every need, especially in a time where resources are scarce, then yeah, these people are really trying to put themselves in a position of the Most High. It tells you in the scriptures of how Jake was going to go to his enemy for the one of all things. Now they're trying to actually not only have Jake, but everybody in this wicked ass place known as America, aka Babylon the Great. And when you go into, like I said again, this is not coincidence that Putin did what he did, and with the grain shortages, and that's why India doesn't want to sell or export grain, because the moves Russia was making in the Ukraine. So when they say they only got 10 weeks of grain, and that was like 2 weeks ago, then it's probably very, very is more than likely very, very accurate. And these people are not ready for it, because it goes into the scriptures about being asleep. These people are asleep in their own little in their own little worlds. They're not paying attention to the signs and the times. They don't believe. So especially our people. And they're going to be judged horribly. So it goes back and reads. It says International Monetary Fund head Kristalina Georgieva recently made statements calling for governments to be more active in subsidizing food and energy costs to their citizens in the wake of the inflationary crisis. Because at the end of the day, it's going to have to take for, at the end of the day, when you understand that basically all these governments all the elite are in the pockets of all these governments. The International Monetary Fund basically loans governments money because it's the bankers. And that's why it goes into the money is the root of all evil. Well, it doesn't say money is, it says the love of money. It goes, scriptures talk about mammon, what's that, Matthew chapter 6, 24, the I being single, and you can't love the Most High and mammon. At the end of the day, trusting in wealth can be a stumbling block and get you destroyed. So again, it just made me. I took it spiritually, because, like I say, when the elder broke it down, after people suffering because they can't afford to get the food, because basically they can't afford to get food because basically things have been so inflated and people were suffering so much. It'll be the perfect time to get people to actually, like, what'll be the perfect way to get people to willingly take this MOTV after you haven't eaten, after you've watched all this slaughter, or after you've watched all these bad times. So with that, I'm gonna bring out some scriptures, because like I said, for those that have the spiritual eyesight, we can see what this devil is doing. So let me get 2 Corinthians. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, and the point is verse 11, and it reads, "Least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." And because we are, like I said, blessed by Yahweh Shem Yahushua to have our eyes open to what's going on, we see what's going on. You know what I mean? It talks about how if the Most High wouldn't come back, literally it's man, this is some satanic shit. There's a lot of stuff going on over here. If the Most High, basically, it wouldn't be no flesh left to be saved. Basically, so read that, and being that we seeing all these things, that's why brothers are pushing so hard, doing the will and the work of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because we know the times being evil. This is the Romans chapter 13, verse 11, and that knowing the time, that now is the high time to wake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than we believe. We can see all this devil having everything lined up. That's why they keep on talking about, the timing of this, the timing. Like, it's never been a time before, it's always been things going on in the world, true, but it's never been a time like where everything is just happening simultaneously, Perfect time to collapse the economy and basically get these people to succumb to these devil's will. It's the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, beginning at verse I'm gonna start at verse 2, and it reads, "And the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain. And make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." And basically, that's going into, the vision is these prophecies. Although they look like they moving slow, at the end of the day, those that have the spiritual eyesight, the ones that believe, we seeing these things come to pass. And that's why, again, I read the scripture about salvation being nearer than when we believed. Back in I don't know. Satan riled up right now. Like, it's all kind of weird shit going on. This ain't even a Friday. It's a Thursday. It's still a work week. That's how you know it's spiritual though. Like, I'm talking about, I'm sitting in the car. They pull up behind me. Like, Satan moving. Because he know that this shit going down. It's the book of I'm gonna end it with the scripture that basically inspired this lesson, because at the end of the day, it just made the most sense. Like I said, to collapse the economy. Because come on, you talking about this summer, it could be rolling blackouts, food shortages, all these things at once. The book of Psalms 119 and 126 says, it's time for you to work, because they have made void thy law. And the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is working, and we seeing him working with basically the fruition of the prophecy. Basically, I mean, because once the system collapsed, and you can see it, that's why you seeing this everything going up. Rent, gas, everything at once. That's inflation, and it's going to lead to hyperinflation, with brothers literally saying it's almost there. Every time you look up, gas going up. Every time you look up, food going up. So they said about summertime it could be, and they wanted to be like that because it's probably a big ass ritual they done did. But then I was listening to the elder literally say they want to keep it going for to at least to the summer over, because they want to be at a vacation and then go in their bunkers. And that sounds like something the devil would do. But yeah, we could see these things. So ultimately leading to, because when the economy crashes and people suffer for a long enough time, a lot of people are going to be begging for this thing, for the solution. And their solution is going to be getting that digital oil. So this is the book of Revelation chapter 13, and the point is verse 16. And it reads, "The mark of the beast, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." What technology do you have right now where you can put a product or a certain thing into your body, and basically it can control, it could track, it could do all these different things, that MOTB, that RFI, radio frequency identification, chip, microchip. It says to receive in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that hath the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it's the number of a man, and his number is 666. And when you go into that, like I said, when you take the time to think about how this COVID or the CV went into literally pretty much CV literally affected so many different things. One of the things it affected was how, you know, it affected how people literally were you know, like when they gave that stimulus packages, the relief, the CARES Act, was they talking about care, literally helped cause the demise of this economy. So, you know, it's kind of comical how, you know, Esau operates for real. So, you know, I think I'm gonna end the lesson there. You know, Lord willingly, this is edifying. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam, La Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahushai, Ba Hashem, Chakadas Wakatham. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwati Yakim up there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. Till next time I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom, and mawat lababah. Shalom. Man, you know, and call Loyam La Yahweh Shai, because Satan is just like on some bullshit. Satan is knowing his kingdom is over with. I mean, I literally just watched Esau. I don't know what just took place that they pulled up behind me. And, you know, I ain't doing nothing off. But it was just like weird how they, you know, like, I mean, I'm seeing all kind of tow trucks. I'm seeing, you know, in a spot, it's a Thursday night. You know, there's certain days where, you know, Esau Edom is trying to look to, you know, get his bread. But, you know, you see that more on the weekend. I ain't never seen this shit where on a Thursday night they just prowl and wait for somebody doing some, you know what I mean? And I'm sitting there and he's sitting there seeing what I'm gonna do. So I ain't doing nothing but it was just the way that they did it. Then like I jump out the car because I'm like, shit, I don't know, you know, don't even give him an excuse to, you know what I mean? You'd be surprised. Like I said, Satan, you know, like I said, Satan, I just get fucked with earlier by Satan, by my roomie, you know what I mean? Jumping on her and I'm losing my cool arguing with her on some goofy shit. We you know, we ain't got time for that. You know, like brothers telling me earlier, like literally, you know, if a person bucking up to we so close, and they just was saying it. And then I heard the Elder Malcolm video, and when you realize like how close we truly are, we almost at the end, brothers. So again, I pray that y'all stay prayed up. And with that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Bashim Rakakadas Wakata. The water, Shalom.